going on, guys, man?
What's the word? What's the word?
Let's talk about all of the stars off the Black Panther soundtrack. Like you, how does that happen?
I want to say we had that record, the idea of the record, for about 2 years. And to get to where it was at, I didn't even expect that. Like, me and Kendrick were just messing around. We caught a vibe in Jamaica with my guy, Al Shucks. And, like, he just kind of had, like, the top liner, you know, the melody ideas of it. But he never had no words in it. Then my guy, Ryan Coogler, you know, he came, the director of Black Panther, he was just like, yo, I got this movie. I want you guys to check it out. See if you guys can do anything for it. Played it instantly. Once we first saw it, it was like, yo, we don't want to just do one song. We want to do the whole soundtrack. We didn't even tell them that. We were just going to like secretly sneak and do the whole soundtrack. And just like, if they take it, they take it. If not, we got tracks for ourselves.
Right.
But yeah, like, so that song was, it kind of summed up the whole movie to us. It's like, as soon as we saw the movie, we knew that that was the direction we was going to go.
You mentioned Al Shucks. What did he provide to the track that...
Al Shucks is a melodic genius. Like, so the little crazy worm sound that you hear in there, that's that guy. Like, his brain is crazy when it comes to melodies.
Wow. And what was your thoughts when you heard that you were nominated? Because it's like, you're nominated for every award under the sun right now. Grammy Awards. Golden Globe, Oscar.
That's right.
Bruh, I'm still to this day, it hasn't fully hit me. Like, it always hits me when I'm at the award show. It's like, yo, I'm walking right next to all of these superstars, and it's like, I'm just a kid from Compton, so
right.
I don't know. Words can't describe it, really.
Are you upset when you don't win, or do you feel like you're really validated when you are nominated?
Just to be there, like, just to be nominated, it's like, come on, bro. Like I said, I'm from Compton, graduated from Compton High, and to be Oscar nominated, Golden Globe nominated, Grammy nominated.
That's a light flex.
Yeah, make some noise for that.
Word. Yeah, respect.
What soundtracks did you guys like listen to like in preparing for it? Like, was it like inspirations or?
I always say this, and people say I'm cheesy for it, but my two favorite is Coming to America and The Last Dragon. The Last Dragon has, to me, the greatest soundtrack. Like, I know all those songs.
New Jack City.
New Jack City too.
New Jack
What about
City has the best
New
soundtrack.
Jack City, Above the Rim, Wait to Exhale, Nutty Professor. These are like all classic soundtracks. Like,
Nutty Professor has some joints, Case.
Has some joints.
The Jay-Z joint? Come
on,
man.
now.
Come on, man. Yeah, like.
What about you, Tay? What's your favorites?
Above the Rim, man.
Above the Rim?
Yeah, man.
I'm still mad at it.
Pain.
Pain! The best Pac record ever. Yeah. I'm probably getting in trouble for that, but putting it out there.
Nah, I agree.
Okay. What about you, Ali, man? Like I said, congratulations, because you hit the stage this past Sunday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You accepted the Grammy for the record of the year.
Thank you.
For This Is America. But how does that song even come across your desk?
Man, that was Tunji. You know, Tunji RCA has been a friend of ours since way back. He's really family. And during that time, we were just wrapping up like the Damn stuff, and there's a few projects that we're working on. He just called me and said, hey, we had like Childish has a record. I think you can kill it. You know, they just sent me the files. We went back and forth a few times. And at first, when I heard it, I didn't kind of understand it because of how it was broken down.
Right.
You know, when he said it was a single, I was kind of confused because I couldn't hear it on the radio at first. So we mixed it. We spent a few times mixing it, maybe about 2 weeks, going back and forth with the doubles and all the effects that we added to it. Even getting like some of the backgrounds, we had to wait a few days for the background vocals to come through.
Oh, they came on afterward.
There were like things were coming in on the fly every now and then, so I had to like piece it up. Just imagine like a Lego puzzle, having to piece it together once you get files.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so we was going back and forth on that, but yeah, you know, just they just gave me the creative idea to just go and do my thing. They just told me to just do MixedByAli, and that's what happened.
Because I know your sessions take a long time. Was this like one of those long MixedByAli sessions, or?
This one was more different because I was more comfortable with the record. You know, I like mixes like that, things that are more complex, have different elements, have different, you know, different patterns, different, you know, just transitions. So, you know, just off of doing like the old Section 80 and all the old records, I kind of was almost familiar with how that stuff was kind of supposed to be formatted. So it was more fun putting it together. At the end of the day, it was more fun, but, you know, you have to go back and forth with the artist and go back and forth with the label to get it to their likings and stuff. So that was, you know, the only thing that kind of took a little bit of time.
But even like Ali, like as decorated and accomplished as you are there like still challenges you face as an engineer?
I mean, all the time. I mean, how I approach engineering and just anything in life is, you know, like you're only as good as your last mix. You know what I'm saying? So you have to constantly find something in your creative process that's going to constantly inspire you. You know, if if you're in a time, which personally, with me personally, it's not really a super inspiring time in music. What's going to keep you wanting to stay doing those 10-hour sessions, those 15-hour sessions? You got to compete with yourself. So I always talk about you're not as good as your last mix. You're not as good as your last mix, basically. Yeah.
Right. But I guess what problems do you think that a lot of up-and-coming engineers and producers face? And I guess this is to all three of you guys.
Well, personally or just creativity?
Well, both.
Personally, I feel like everyone's trying to compete with each other. It's too much false shit going on. It's too much like fake shit you see. So people are competing with the fake. It's like everyone wants to, be somebody they're not. Everybody wants to follow a sound that's not theirs. One thing that I took from everything that we do is be yourself. You know what I'm saying? We look at Section 80 on how different that was compared to everything in that time. And it just how critically acclaimed and the love that we got from it and how successful it was. It just showed me, like, if you just be yourself and stay true and loyal to yourself, then, there's nothing you can't do and there's nowhere you can't go. So, that's one thing I do see a lot of engineers and producers doing is, trying to just have a face without the work to show for it. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the work in first, and then you can have the name and the face after that. You got to spend time, put your 10,000 hours in. You know what I'm saying? Sit back and become a master at your craft, and then go out and go do what you got to do. But you can't go out and be a super producer or a super engineer and spend your whole paycheck on this and that first. You got to put the work in, and then all that's gonna come later. By the time you do put the work in, you get all the shit. You're not even gonna want all the chains and all the jewelry and none of that shit no more.
Right.
You don't got to prove nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? You got to prove it in the music.
How about you, Soundwave? What you think? You can make some noise for that.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you.
Damn, I'm inspired.
Nah, I second everything he said. Like, my whole thing is I see a lot of producers that are up and coming now, and instead of pushing the boundaries, they're like basically trying to follow what's the quickest way to get out there.
Right.
So my whole thing is basically take your time, figure out your own sound, figure out your own ways to just like change the culture, basically.
What you think, Tay?
Outside of what Soundwave said, maybe overthinking. Some people tend to overproduce. There is a such thing as overproducing. You know what I mean? Sometimes dumb it down might be the wrong term to use. But I've been with other producers that have 97 different sounds all over a record. It doesn't make any sense. Somebody still needs to put lyrics to it. A song still needs to be made to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at times you got to just really sit back, get the vibe, don't overthink it, and then don't make beats catered to someone. Right. You know what I mean? I get a lot of people who call me saying, hey, man, I made this beat for Kendrick. They'll send it to me because they want me to quote-unquote play it. And it sounds like something off. Damn, he's moved on from that, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like everybody's on to the next thing. So, like he said, man, just trying to develop your own sound and, try not to be like anybody else.
Real quick, just to touch on that, I second that because, like, again, a lot of engineers ask, like, how do I get where you're at as an engineer?
Yeah.
And, it's tough for an engineer or a producer that's not kind of tied to an artist to kind of get to certain heights, because they're constantly chasing placements. They're constantly chasing artists to work with, trying to get placements, and you're sending Future-type beats, or you're sending Kendrick-type beats. Right. Sometimes it's better both ways to kind of find an upcoming artist that you believe in, that you mess with, that you like, and kind of build a sound together with them. You know what I'm saying? That way, for one, if the artist does get to a point to where he can shine light on you, why wouldn't he put shine on, his producer or his engineer that he's already in bed with? You know what I'm saying? So kind of creating a sound with somebody is kind of creating a sound together is really more important. And I think it's one of the easiest ways to kind of just get to where you want to go as a musician because you're working with the trifecta, the artist, engineer, and producer.
Right.
My whole thing is when people are thoroughly shocked that I made a beat, that's like an accomplishment for me. I don't know, it's weird. It's like, oh, Soundwave made that, for real?
Yeah.
Like, even if I can go like to a St. Vincent world, like a lot of people don't even know I did production on our album. And the fact that...
Yeah, make some noise for that. Yeah.
Like the fact that they come to me for that and it's like I can actually go into that world with no problems. Like, to me, that's kind of what my goals be.
Right. And I know that you love adding strings to your productions. You say, oh,
strings.
He loves adding them strings.
Bro, let me tell you something about this nigga. I hate this dude for that.
Why?
We'll be done with the album. We'll be done mixing a 15-track album. I'm walking into mastering.
Orchestra, I think.
Yeah, out of nowhere, I get a call.
We ain't done yet.
I get a call from Soundwave. Tell me, where you at? I'm like, shit, I'm walking into mastering. Oh, for sure. I just sent you 100 tracks of strings real quick. Mix it in real quick. I'm like, what the fuck you want? I'm mastering, bro, just trying to like put 100 tracks of strings like over a 2-track like mix. It's fucking
If
God.
it was up to me, I'll put
Hate this
strings
nigga.
on every single record, but
I'm gonna beat him with a
ain't gonna
violin
let
next
that
time. That's
happen.
what's gonna happen.
Those tracks sound expensive. Those Stradivari violins ain't cheap, man.
Trust me, that
Right.
Tiffith Brothers 5 sessions,
Yeah.
the most expensive session we ever done did because of them string sections. So yeah, we know.
For sure. Hey, man. I'm already seeing Wave getting cussed out because Sessions is the motherfucking.
Oh me, I didn't know it was that expensive. Top like, oh hold on.
It's like a kid in the candy store. Wave, he's like, I got access to all of this. I come into the studio, it's like 100-piece like orchestra. Just Wave is standing there, not looking like he don't know what the fuck he doing. He just standing in front of a 100-piece orchestra.
Acting like I know.
Yeah, he's doing it all for the Instagram. He's doing all this for the Instagram.
But I said,
now.
I read somewhere that you said you wanted classical training at one point, that you want to go pursue it.
It never happened. I mean, eventually, I'm going to, like, I taught myself everything through YouTube. Just type
Really?
in piano 101, and they'll teach you everything you need to know. Like, I literally learned how to play piano through YouTube.
Wow.
MTV Music Generator. Love that thing.
And especially coming from LA. LA has a rich history in hip hop. That goes without saying. And with TDE's success, how does it feel like carry on that tradition and that legacy?
I mean, I could touch on a little bit. We got the producers, but I mean, I feel like it's just like it's. I don't want to say it's not passing the torch, but it's like recognizing where you come from almost. You know, like in a lot of our music, you know, listen to King Kuta, like a lot of old school, you know what I'm saying? DJ Quick, like turned up shit mixed with new age, like funky shit. Like that's a lot of stuff that we do. We like to blend new with the old and create the sound, you know, create the human music that everyone across the world can kind of understand.
Right.
But that just comes from our influences and what we listen to growing up, you know.
Real talk.
And Tay, I know that you kind of groomed for this business because you learned from like your dad, right?
Yeah, my pops and my uncle, and Sir Jinx actually too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. But he put you onto like MC8 and
Yeah, MC8.
Eazy-E, DJ Quick.
Eazy-E bought me an MPC 60. I hate it to this day. I still have it. I hate it. I don't use it. I don't touch it.
Right.
All them damn floppy disks. Right, man, it was terrible. No, but I mean, it helped develop, a sound that I have now. It helped develop, a lot of things mentally as well. So much easier now with, everything just being in a computer. You know what I mean? Than where it was when I first started learning. But some of them beats was trash, though. I ain't gonna lie.
My first beat was terrible.
right.
I used to sample everything. Like,
How your first rap go?
What?
How your first rap bars go?
I'll
you
kick it
had
right
rap
now.
bars?
Don't tell me, dog. I'll kick my first raps right now, dog.
You used to rap too, Soundwave?
Yeah, I'll tell y'all this story. You was actually there, too.
Yeah. Trash.
First time I rapped in front of Kendrick, him, and I think probably Ab-Soul. I thought I was hard. This is probably like 2006.
Were you still going by Soundwave at this time?
I was going by Sounwave. I've been going by Sounwave since I was 13.
All right.
I go in a booth, and for some reason I get nervous. So when I got nervous, this random London accent came out. So when I'm rapping in a London accent, and as soon as I walk out, Kendrick, Ali's soul is on the ground, dying laughing.
We
like,
looking
bro,
at each other. What the fuck?
hell was that?
I think somebody cut the light on to see if that was even Soundwave in that motherfucker. It was like, that shit was so terrible.
Ever since then, I never went back in the booth. So
Hey,
you can blame
B.Dot,
Kendrick for my album never coming out.
I never seen Nervous Jitters turn into a whole nother like accent.
But is there a pressure like with you, Tay, like carry on this legacy? You guys are TDE, like coming from the Death Row days and just carry on that tradition of West Coast hip hop.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely, man.
Okay. What about you, Sound? Do you feel like there's a pressure behind it?
Of course, there's a pressure. I mean, you got the GOATs. And it's like, like my whole thing is that, I don't know if y'all remember, but one of my proudest moments was when Kendrick performed out in LA and Snoop.
Oh, the torch.
Yeah,
the L-Ray.
Game, all of them corrupt came on the stage and passed him the torch.
Yeah.
And those tears that he had, that was tears that all of us had. Because it's like we wasn't expecting that. So for that to happen and show that brotherhood of the West Coast is like, yo, we got your back.
Right.
Bruh, that was one of my top moments in the whole history of this.
Like, how has the city played a role in your creative process and what you do?
It keep you grounded, you know what I'm saying? Especially me, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to go back home and, you know what I'm saying, kick with my day one people, you know, kick with my family, you know, these people are not going to let you be Hollywood around them. They're going to smack you in the back of the head. You look crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, it keeps you level-headed. It makes sure you're not too Hollywood. You know, it doesn't get you outside of what the other people want you to look as. You know what I'm saying? It just keeps you grounded. And that's, you know, and I think we got to where we're at, and I think that's a big reason why, you know, we move the way we move is because we have people in our lives that are telling us, you know, sit down, you're doing too much, or, you know, letting you know when you're wrong rather than having a bunch of yes men around you that's going to just pump you up for failure. Right. You know, that's what I said. You got to keep people around you that's going to sit you down when you're doing wrong, no matter how big you are, or no matter, you know what I'm saying, no matter what accolades you have. Right. I think that's what LA is about in general. It's keeping it real.
I feel like you wanted to add on to that, Tay.
Nah, man, like, you know, what he said, I mean, we're still accessible, man. I don't think my number ever changed. I know he
since
had
high
the same
school,
number for, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the roots are still here. We all got families now that we start on our own, too, so it's pretty great.
How has TDE been able to monopolize the game? Because it's like you guys are literally competing for the same awards, yet the same shows. It's like, it's not fair. Like, what's the cheat code?
To me, my whole thing is we're not thinking about it. It's like we just going out to do it. And when you don't overthink about it and you just put in that hard work, it's going to speak for itself.
Right.
Like, we never just like, oh, yeah, this going to get us a Grammy. Oh, yeah, this going to get us an Oscar. It's just, we just focus, work hard, and let the accolades happen.
Right.
You know, like you, Ali, you work with Nipsey Hussle, you work with Cardi B, you work with a little bit of everybody. How does that work? How do you manage to still prioritize what you need to do?
For one, I just hustle like we broke. That's what Top Boys instilled in us. You know what I'm saying? We got an opportunity to, you know, to create a great lifestyle for our families and to hopefully inspire our homies. You know, we always have our priorities. You know what I'm saying? Of course, a home team is going to always come first without a doubt. And in my free time, I'm not sitting at the host playing video games. In my free time, I'm mixing other people's projects. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, like I said, it's hustle like you broke. You know, you put your head down and keep working. That's why you see us at the Grammys every year and competing for categories. You know what I'm saying? It's because, you know, on our spare time, we're not bullshitting. We still about our business because that's what drives us. That's what we wake up for every day is to create.
Right. But even if you Sounwave and Sound Tae, like, how do you feel guilty when you give someone else a banger? And it's not.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, if I make a beat and I accidentally play it for anybody in TDE, it would never make it outside. So that's probably like the main reason why you don't see me on a lot of other stuff outside of TDE, because we have a big roster.
You're right.
So it's like if I'm playing something, it's like I actually want to make this for somebody else, and then Isaiah hear it. He was like, "Oh, let me get that." I'm not gonna tell him no. It's home team. So
you catch niggas sneaking on Wizzle computer, just going through his beat folders.
This is
Wizzle walking in the studio. It was just this schoolboy, just that motherfucker, just going through his folders. You know what I'm saying? Wizzle can't get nothing off.
Yeah, you just got I mean, it comes with the territory, and I love it though. So I'm definitely not complaining.
What about you, Tay? How's your process? You got to sneak?
Ironically, I send a lot of stuff to Punch, man. To you know, just kind of check out. Punch has a really good ear. I mean, as far as placements outside of TDE, you know, I'll kind of try to make stuff on the spot sometimes. Because again, like he said, you know, if you make somebody hear it, it's a wrap. Kendrick's like the beat hoarder too, man.
He's a hoarder?
97,000 gigs of beats from everybody. Whoa. So if it gets to Kendrick hands, it probably ain't never gonna leave.
You can give him a beat for Good Kid, Mad City, and it'll end up on Damn.
Wow.
He's a beat hoarder like that. So, yeah.
But his Rolodex is always working. He can hear some shit now, but like, you know, I got something. And go back to his emails from like 2010 and pull like, okay, I found it.
Yeah, his brain works like that. I can't explain it.
That's crazy. All three of you guys worked with Mac. You know, he was also nominated for Best Rap Album for Swimming. Like, what are some of your memories of Mac?
Bro, Mac, like, for real, it's like, that's family. So.
He the sixth black hippie.
Nah, real talk. Like, whenever you think about going to a Mac session, it's like going to your favorite cousin session, like a favorite cousin house. It's like, it's always going to be a good time. Like, I have nothing but praises, you know, RIP to my brother.
Right. It's a good time because it's like, he's like the little cousin you used to crack jokes with, put him in a noogie, you know, put him in a headlock, you know.
Give him noogies.
Yeah, I love Mac, man. You know, I mixed his Divine Feminine album.
Right, that was incredible.
That was in my opinion, one of his best work.
And what about you, Tay? Because I know you worked on the Swimming album.
Yeah, Swimming and Divine Feminine, actually.
Right. Small Worlds.
Yeah.
What was that whole session like, that whole process?
Small Worlds actually started off as a record called "Don't Try This at Home." It was a lot faster than what it turned out as the final product. But I kept hearing it different. It had a lot of stuff on it too. It was just a lot of sounds. I took a lot of stuff out, slowed it down, played it for him, and then he recorded a new record, which was Small Worlds. Changed, some of the verses or whatever. And he sat on it for a while. We did another record with John Bryan, and then he called me and said, "Hey, John Mayer's gonna play on Small World. Are you cool with that?" I'm like, "What type of question is that?" You know what I mean?
Of course.
John Mayer, bro. It's nuts. But man, we worked a lot actually. Towards the end of the project, we did another record a couple of weeks prior to his passing with Young Thug called Game 4. But he was a real cool dude, man. Just really chill, really polite.
Right.
Really polite. Yeah.
He kept you in tune on what was going on. You know what I mean? If he changed something on a record, he'll call you and say, "Hey, I changed this. You cool with it?" So I respected him a lot for that.
Right. Those are in. Let's get into that record real quick. Let's play Small Worlds. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. What strengths do you think that Tae has when he brings to Digiphonics?
Say that again?
What strengths do you feel like Tae has when it comes to...
Bruh, y'all don't know, to this day, Tae is still my favorite producer. Like, his air of picking samples, flipping samples, like his drum selection, everything. His drum bank, I still, to this day, I'm trying to steal drums from him. Like, he's smart, though. Like, he would send me just what I need. He won't send me anything extra.
Just a little bit.
I get
That's
it, I get it.
Secret pack.
Yeah. But like, yeah, his brain and just how he hears things is like nobody I've ever dealt with before.
And Tae, what do you think about Sounwave? What's his strength?
Man, everything.
Respect.
I mean, he always hears stuff that you don't hear, for one, for starters. I think around the time, I can't remember what we was working on, but he might, tell you, "Oh, pitch this," or change that snare to something else, or do this. It's kind of like, what people say about Dre, not to compare the two, because I know Dre's Dr. Dre. He's a legend.
Dr. Dre.
He's out there. I don't want nobody writing something saying, "Oh, Tae compares Soundwave to legendary Dr. Dre." So don't misconstrue the words.
Little clickbait ain't hurt
Send
nobody.
me to hell. Everybody gonna hate me now.
But no, man, he's a genius, dude. You know what I mean? He really has a great ear for everything. Him too, man. Like, that Mac Miller record, that's one of my regrets, is I wish I would have sent him the beat to mix it, because I tried to mix the beat myself before I sent it to him. And it's real, like, gritty. But I think Ali could have, made it sound a lot different than what it is. And I do that a lot, actually, after something that I didn't send to him. I'm like, damn, I should have got Ali involved with this.
When was the last time TDE got together? Like, is it like at a barbecue or a cookout or something? Like,
We do that all the time.
everybody, like...
All the time.
Really?
It's
Okay.
normal. It's a normal thing for us. Like, either we go to Top House, just chill, relax, It's a
Right.
big family. It's like, it's not what you think it is. Like, we just a label and just, like, this is a family.
Right.
We've been together since 04, 05, so.
Niggas bring their kids and shit by now, throw their kids in the top pool, big ass pool and shit.
We mentioned Top Dawg a lot. He's the president, founder, CEO of Top Dawg Entertainment. Talk about what he means to you guys, because it seems like as if your relationships with Top, as much individual they are, it seems like they're all intertwined in some capacity. Like, someone probably lived across the street from Top, or they tried to fix his computer at one time.
Real
I
talk.
mean, that just goes back to my whole basic shit, is everything happened for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Top always he had the studio at his house back in the day. We all just came from different parts of LA and just found home there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think we all supposed to be here for a bigger reason, because it's all meant to be through how we got here. If you sit back and really study and put like a fucking timeline on how everything came together, it's like it all started at Top House. And if it wasn't for Top, we wouldn't have a house to connect. We wouldn't have a house to record at. I wouldn't have 4 artists and a crazy producer to mix and record at. I wouldn't be me. He wouldn't have crazy artists to give beats to push him. And the artists wouldn't have each other to compete with each other to sharpen up their skills. So, it was a real collective thing that really happened that kind of catapulted all of us into our respective careers.
Right.
Real talk. And Top energy draws you to him, too. Like, before we even knew who Top Dawg was, like, when you first meet him, it's like, I don't know, something about this guy. I want to be a part of whatever he has. And then beyond that, it just became a family. Like, we all have different stories on how we came to TDE. My story is, you know,
What
Punch.
is your story?
Well, Punch, we were just a friend of the family. Like, we used to play basketball all the time. He stuck his head in my room one day. I was making beats off the MTV music generator. He was like, "Yo, you make beats?"
Right.
It's like, "Yeah." "Why? What's going on? You got some artists?" He was like, "Yeah, my, cousin Top Dog, I didn't know who he was at the time. He was like, "Yeah, he's got a little label he's trying to start up."
Yeah.
It's like, all right. Went over there. I paid him a few beats. Some beats were trash.
Trash?
Like, he even said, he was like, "This ain't it." But since Punch is co-signing you, I'm going to give you a chance. Take these acapellas, see what you do. I took that as a challenge. I took my time, and the next day I brought it back to him. He was like, "Yo, these is better than the original.
Wow.
I mess with you." And then literally at the same time, well, I don't want to get into the whole story of everybody. Let them tell it, but yeah, like, that's kind of how I got into it. So that was about 05, I want to say, and I've just been rocking ever since.
Wow. What about you, Tay? How did you get affiliated?
Absol.
Absol.
Yeah, I met Soul at a session, and I can't. It was Curtis King actually. He invited me to a session. He was recording with Absol. I didn't have no laptop on me, no nothing. Luckily, I had a flash drive in the car. Played him some beats. Next day, Dave Free called me. I went out to meet with Top and everybody else, man. It's been a team ever since.
Oh, wow. Seems just like that. And Top just has this, like, father figure presence to him.
Big time.
Right. And I think at one point, Schoolboy Q said that you guys are all living together in the same house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In that studio we had, he like built like a little back house like out of this place he was living in. And she was me, Wave. Well, Wave lived over the wall. So Wave was like the cousin we never wanted to come over because he would never share his food and shit. We was all hungry.
It's like
Wave would go
camp.
home and have lunch and then come back. Nah, I'm fucking with you. Nah, but man, if we all just camp out, me, Wave, Dot, Soul, and Q, just like on the floor, just like camping out 24/7. Niggas to go to the gym, pull pranks on each other, all type of shit. That was
I always want to know, was there ever friction? Because, in LA, people come from different areas, different territories. Is there ever, like, conflict?
Nah, because the house studio started to cut you off. The house studio was the way to get away from all that. Like, and we had Top. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to bring no shit to Top House. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's the respect that we have for him because the opportunity he was giving us. Like I said, we was all running away from the streets, finding somewhere else to kind of call home. And he had that for us. So why bring bullshit to this man's house and fuck up our opportunity?
What's up?
Right. Now, switching gears a little bit, let's talk about the guy you mentioned, Kendrick Lamar, man. Like, how is it working with him? Because it feels like everyone has their own Kendrick chemistry when it comes to working with that guy.
Man, I mean, shit, it's like working with your big brother, like your big little brother. I mean, it's like the thing with him is he's so open creatively, where as an engineer, talking from an engineer point of view, there's no time that can affect his creativeness. You know what I'm saying? If he feels like me mixing a song 3, 4, 5 different ways, no matter the deadline, we're gonna do it 3, 4, 5 different ways to try to get 3, 4, 5 different outcomes. It's all for the greater good of the record. And that's why I feel like he's where he's at. Of course, that's one of the reasons why he's where he's at for sure. Is just the attention to detail that he has on all his music, and just the way he's like the team captain. You know what I'm saying? He just inspires everyone to want to be to pull the best out of everyone around him, and that's why all that energy is always shifted toward these crazy ass projects because you got somebody like him that's pulling the best up out of you. You know what I'm saying? Shit that you never knew you had in you.
Right.
So I never knew I could stay up for 5 days straight, but he for sure, you know what I'm saying, pulled it out of me. But nah, bullshit aside, that's one thing about the squad is everybody challenges each other to be great. And that's why we're going to continue this greatness.
Is everyone that hands-on as he is in the camp?
Very hands-on. And another beautiful thing about Kendrick is he listens. Like,
right.
I don't care if he's Pulitzer Prize, Oscar nominated. If you come up with an idea and it's good, he's going to try it. If it didn't work, he's like, all right, it didn't work. But he still tries it. He listens to anybody who has an idea. And I think that's kind of another thing that puts him up there to me.
Right. Speaking of collaborations, like that song King's Dead featuring J-Rock and Future. Whose idea was that? The la-li, la-li, la.
I mean, that was Future's genius. Like, honestly, Future, the way we had that song originally was Future did his whole verse, and at the end, it was that part. And when we first heard it, we instantly stopped. It was like, yo.
That shit about to go.
Like, what was he thinking right here? This is like probably the most genius, nonchalant thing I've ever heard in my life. So we gave that his own moment. We took the beat out, stopped everything, like la-dee-da-dee-da. Now that's like the crowd's favorite right there because we understood where he was trying to go. But we don't know if he was like, just like, see if they like this or not, or if this is like him saying, this is my genius moment. But we understood everything from that, and we just made that as much of the moment as we could. So,
what'd you think about it, Ali, when you first heard that?
That shit funny as hell to me. I fuck with it. That shit. Everyone making memes and shit out of it. I love it. Hey, I loved it.
What about you, Tay? Did you fuck with it?
Yeah, man. Future's great, dude.
Future is great.
Yeah, just hearing him on that record was nuts, man. Him and J-Rock together, that's a great pair, dude.
Man, J-Rock, man. How proud of you guys. That guy won a Grammy Award,
Bruh.
man. Like,
And he brought a Grammy
Let's
to
make some noise
the
for
project.
J-Rock.
That shit's crazy.
like, people don't understand. J-Rock, we did a lot of trial and error with J-Rock. Like, he was the first person out of TDE. So, like, a lot of our mistakes happened, unfortunately, on J-Rock. So, for him to overcome all of that and to this day to get a Grammy,
That's
bruh,
crazy.
like, I'm shedding tears for him. Like, when he's up there, like a tear literally just snuck out my eye. I can't control it. But, bro, that moment right there.
Soundwave, I saw you said something about the early days of when you guys were working. You said, like, the Section 80 days were, like, some of the happiest. Like, why was that, I guess, those moments the best for you?
It was just us not knowing what was going to happen, really. It's like us trying to discover ourselves and at the same time as sound. So if you listen to Section 80, it's like us being very strategic to the point of, like, we don't want to get boxed in. So we're going to make every sound that we love into this one project. So in the future, you can never say he can't do that or he sounds weird on this because we gave you Spiteful Chant. We gave you Keisha's song. We gave you all of these elements.
ADHD.
All of these elements. So to this day, he can do whatever the hell he wanted to do. It's like strategic moves like that and just the brotherhood of us being in that small little room
Yeah, I'm saying,
forever.
I think because I was like 17, 16, 17. I just got kicked out of my grandma's house. So like just like I was doing bad, but it was like just like having something that, you know what I'm saying, you could be a part of, something that like you had a real, I'm 17, wet behind the ears, still, stumbling over my left foot. So I get handed this responsibility, you know what I'm saying, to cultivate this sound for this album. It felt good. It kind of almost straightened me up to just understand who I'm gonna eventually one day be. Just gave me my first little bit of responsibility, and it was a big confidence boost. You know what I'm saying? Working along, with the homies, and it was just a real big confidence boost. You know what I'm saying? Personally.
Do you feel like Section 80 was the turning point in TDE, or was it like maybe the Kendrick Lamar EP, or?
That was definitely the stamp, I want to say, where everyone was like, oh, okay, I see what y'all doing.
Like we're on to something.
Yeah.
I think OD was like the one that went everyone. It kind of got everyone's attention. EP and OD got everyone's attention. But I think when Section 80 came out, it was like the overkill. Like, yo, this shit is some shit. And then we did the world tour, like off that project, like just being able to, a bunch of young niggas going around the world.
We talk about things that never came out, man. I read somewhere that you said that like there's so many songs that you guys record that just don't fit the sequence and you don't release them. Like, what the fuck is that about?
We take our sequencing serious. A lot of people, I guess today it's more of a playlist world.
Right.
But we grew up on like classic albums, which tells a story or has a sequence that flow. And if that song does not fit that sequence, that song, I don't care how great it is. I don't care if the greatest person of all time is on this song. If it don't fit, it don't fit. And we take that very serious.
Right. So what song, like, how many songs are we not hearing? Like,
Ooh, we have albums on albums. Like, it can be literally 2 albums for each album that we put out.
wow.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily get discarded. They don't get thrown in the...
Like, some of them get reworked. Like, if it fits another, like, situation, it'll get reworked. The beat will switch up, lyrics will change. But, for the most part, it's just lost. Like, it's stuck on a hard drive that we probably never hear.
Wow. You got some of those records too, Ali?
Some of what?
Some of the stashed records that we can't hear.
Oh yeah, I got all of them. What do you mean?
Wow.
I got the archives. Like, I got to drive at home and just, TD albums. I got all that. All the music we ever did, I keep all a copy of everything.
Do you ever listen to some of those records? Or?
Yeah, he do. He just the other day he sent me a record that I forgot completely about, and then I was like, man, I'm about to get this to Kendrick right now. Like, this song is too hard, but yeah, like he gets the privilege of just listening to all of those. And yeah.
But I also heard that Kendrick sometimes shows up to your house unannounced with a melody in his head.
Ooh, man, you going back to them old interviews.
I had to do my Google, Sounwave.
Yeah, nah, he's the most hands-on person I've ever dealt with. So, like back then in the Section 80 days, before there was like, easy access, cell phones and all that other stuff, we was right on the corner. So it's like if he come up with an idea, he just knocks on the door. My mom knows him, lets him in. I can be in the bathroom doing, on the toilet or something. He just knock, I got this melody. Can you do this for me real fast? I'm like, all right, let me try it. I tried and it comes out genius. That's kind of how ADHD was made, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Spiteful Chant.
Spiteful Chant.
Spiteful
Another one. Yeah, like he comes with these samples and it's like, can you do this like this and this? It's like, all right, I'll try it. It's like sometimes he comes up with the weirdest ideas and I'll say, I'll try it, and then it'd be genius at the end. So I never question him after that.
But what about like when you guys were working on Damn, like the record Feel? Like how does that record come about, man?
That was literally probably the last record that we did. He had so much to get off, but he never had the beat for it. And I remember I was on a flight. I had a emergency to go to Atlanta for my family member, and I literally made that beat on the plane ride back. Sent it to him as soon as I landed. He was like, this is exactly what I was missing. And within that same day, he just came up with that song. Like, he just went into his mode, shut down, cut everything off, and that song was born. And there was a lot of strings on that song, too. But for some reason, Ali felt that they didn't need to be on the song, so they're not on the song. But, yeah.
You said, yeah. What happened? Next question.
Matter of fact, let's hear those strings. Let's get it to Feel right now.
Ain't nobody praying for me. Nobody praying for me. Ain't nobody praying for me. Ain't nobody praying for me. Ain't nobody praying for me. Nobody praying for me.
Classic.
Sure.
Shout out to my boy Thundercat, too. He's on the bass on that.
Absolutely. Shout out to Thundercat, man. West Coast legend.
Killed that.
Another record you guys kind of collaborated on is the Element, man. How does that one happen, Tay? You can answer that too, Sam.
Element
Started with him, actually.
Yeah, Element went through like, I want to say 5 different changes. That was probably another one of the last records we did. We couldn't get it right until that last day we had to turn it in. Like, it went from being a super jazzy song to a super hard song to a super, like, we didn't know what we wanted to do
It's
with
like
it, really.
super subliminal to me.
And we felt like it needed a bounce instead of for it to be serious, the way we used to have it. It's like, let's try a bounce with it. My boy Ricky came in. Ricky's another genius producer. Like, he has these drums that, like, can hypnotize you, like, in a very bouncy way. And he put his twist on it, along with James Blake sending the sample in that fits perfectly at the same time, along with all of these breakdowns and all of these different things. And it just happened, like, organically at the last moment. It was like a buzzer beater.
Putting together the right sounds for the projects. Like you say, you talk about how you eliminate songs and, left and right. But, like, one song in particular that I'm still holding on to is the joint from All Right. Like, the beginning of the All Right video. Remember that song before the song drops? Yeah, we remember? What's going on? Where's that?
It's going to come out eventually. No. I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't know what project it'll be on, but I haven't forgotten about that song. Like, literally, that's all my comments say. They don't care about anything. I can post my song. They're going to be like, that's cool, but what about the song at the beginning of All Right? So I
He
know.
said, turn that shit up, Soundwave.
I mean, who knows? My album, I'm working on to it. Maybe on that, we don't know. So.
But this is the definite Soundwave. We just talked about your album. Like, what can we expect from a Soundwave album?
I honestly don't know right now. Like, I'm trying to figure it out as we speak. Like, I have a lot of records that I work and I save for myself. But then, like I said, the artists hear it, they take it. So I start all over. But I definitely want to do a project. I don't want to be a traditional project of just, rap produce, sing, song produce. I'm trying to think outside the box, but I haven't put my stamp on it completely yet. Figure out what I want to do, but it's coming. I've been working, so it's coming.
Right. And obviously you have some of the best talent in the business, so it's easy just to...
That's another thing. I wouldn't want it just to be a TDE compilation. Like, I want a TDE compilation to be a TDE compilation. So, like, I trying to just bend that curve, and I don't want it just to be predictable. Kendrick, Schoolboy Q, and Tae, and Ali Mix It. Of course, we're going to have these two on it, but I just don't want it to be that predictable, though.
Right. I remember I saw in an interview previously that you talked about, like, during the Pimp to Butterfly sessions, you were going for mastering. Kendrick was already on his third album.
That's Kendrick. He was on his fourth album. Skipped the third album. Like, his brain is, I can't explain it, but it's like we literally just finished mastering for the Pimp to Butterfly, and he was like, all right, that's cool. So for this next album, I'm like, bro, no, it's not even out yet. Like, let it get out first. And then we would start talking about, it's like, nah, don't worry about it. They gonna get that. For this next album.
They gonna get that.
Yeah. For this next album, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I want to bring this back. And it's like, you just gotta go with it because he's a genius.
Right. Is it always like that, even to this day?
Always, to this day. Like, no matter what, his brain never stops working. His brain always comes with crazy ideas.
But do you guys even have a wish list? Because it seems like as if you worked with everybody. Like,
oh, yeah, I definitely. My number one on my wish list is always going to be Sade until it happens.
Sade.
Tight.
Definitely.
What do you think you could bring for Sade that she hasn't done already?
Oh, Smiles. That's the wizard gonna be starting.
No, my pops was the biggest Sade fan, so me naturally being around my pops all the time, I just was drawn to Sade and her sonics, everything about her aesthetic, everything was just a perfect artist to me. So I'm throwing it out in the air. Hopefully it happens soon. We'll see.
What about you, Tay?
Man, just Jay-Z, dude. All the homies got Jay-Z on the record.
Well, you kinda
somehow,
did.
some way. Still ain't got Jay yet.
You got Bitch Killed with My Vibe remix.
That's him.
Oh.
Okay? That's this dude. I ain't got my J record yet. I'm going to get my J record. I'm going to pull up to his house when it come out. I'm going to play it. Yep, right outside on the grass, bro. But nah, I need that, man. I need my J record.
Okay. What about you, Ali? You worked with everybody, man.
I mean, I wanna get into different genres. I wanna do like a rock song. I wanna mix like a rock song or like something with like a lot of elements. Something the opposite of hip hop, because hip hop, your drums and all that stuff. Not to get super technical, but your drums are more dominant. But in different genres like rock, you approach things differently. And I feel like I want to be challenged in a different way nowadays.
Right. But what do you being challenged? Like it's so accomplished. Like what is it that I guess when you guys felt like you made it? Like was there ever a moment when you felt like you've made it in the game?
I mean, me personally, no, because like it was never believed that I could be where I am today. So like if I could get to where I am now off of no belief that I can get here, I feel like the sky is just the limits. You know what I'm saying? I feel like all this is just a chapter to come. I'm only 28. If I feel like when I'm 38, I feel like I'm gonna be doing something completely different. It's just the chapter in life that I'm in right now is music, and I want to challenge myself and try to push myself to do things that somebody who was once in my lane hasn't done before. I want to leave something behind that my daughter can look at and say, yo, that's daddy right there. Like, I want to be the man example in her life to be able to, what a real male role model is supposed to be like, despite all the fucked up shit I did back in the day.
Right.
Moving forward.
For that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Where does that come from? Like that hunger of wanting to teach with engineers and the workshops. Like, where does that come from?
It just gives you a purpose, bro. Because like having these accolades and money, all that shit, like, coming up, that's what we all wanted. Money, Grammy, you know what I'm saying? But, once you kind of get there, you almost realize like it's like none of that shit really, it matters, it feels good to have it all, don't get me wrong, but there's a higher purpose for us being here, we all come from different parts of, different parts of life, different environments, And I honestly, truly believe that, you know, we're put in this place to kind of inspire and to give hope. You know, we're in a time where there's no hope, you know, and I feel like through our music and, you know, through ourselves, being inspiration ourselves and, you know what I'm saying, showing people that you could be successful and not be a fuck nigga. You know what I'm saying? You could be successful and not, you know, lose your morals and all that shit just by working hard and having, you know what I'm saying, good music to back it up. I want to show that that's possible, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So I guess like when you guys do those concerts in the middle of Nickerson Gardens and things like that, what does that mean for you guys?
That's top whole vision, like, you know what I'm saying? But that's like, that just to show you what we have to aspire to, like we have to look up to, like, you know what I'm saying? Top whole dream was to get to the point to where he could bring that to the projects, and he did that. Yeah. So it's like watching him do that, it's like I want to get to the point to where I can do something big like that for my community and do something big where I can, you know what I'm saying, support my youth in that way, you know what I'm saying? It's all each one teach one, you know what I'm saying? There's not too many role models on that level nowadays. So you kind of got to, you know, look at your peers and kind of find inspiration from them and find out, you know what I'm saying, how to do some cool shit that's, you know, unordinary.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget where they started. You know what I mean? The top consistently shows this is where I came from. You know what I mean? He's not ashamed of it.
Like embracing new producers, like do you guys open to that? Like how you guys are with the artists?
Definitely. Like, to me, that's my main focus. Like, a lot of people send me stuff in the DMs and just to check out. And if I can critique something just a little bit, like, I definitely want to do that. Because I never had that. Like, I didn't have a Instagram to where I can reach out to Timberland and people I looked up to and be like, yo, how'd you do that? So if I can help, that's like the main thing I'll do.
Yeah, social media is at everybody's disposal. Send this dude beats 50 times a day.
What's that Gmail now?
If you need to.
Shoot me a
that's
DM.
right. What's the Gmail?
Hotmail, actually. Hotmail. Soundwave at hotmail.com.
There's too many hackers out there, so just shoot me a DM and we'll go from there.
It's really interesting because when we talk about producers, you guys aren't afraid to share the wealth. Like, a lot of people want the credit all to themselves, but when you look at the credits of these TDE projects and others, it's like...
That's because they're really making the beats. There ain't no ghost producers around here. That's why. Nigga, I said it.
Respect.
But y'all open to those type of collaborations, though, right?
Yeah, just getting what sounds right.
Yeah, of course. I mean, my whole thing is when I'm doing collaborations, I like to reach out to people who I like organically, you know, bonding with, like, and people who can do things that I am trying to figure out how to do. Like, that's why, like, my best friend right now is my guy Thundercat, and his brain is so genius. And it's like, I'm literally, he don't know it, but I'm trying to figure out how to play bass by watching him and how he works. And so, like, I just love having that kind of genius around me. So I'm definitely down for collaborating.
Right. Before we get out of here, like I just asked my man Ali, when do you feel like you guys made it? Do you feel like you made it, Soundwave?
I don't want to say I feel like I made it. I would say, like, the accolades are cool. Like, of course, don't get me wrong, the Oscar nominations is like stuff that's supposed to make you feel like you made it. But to me, what makes me feel like I made it is when people hit me up and say things like, bruh, you inspire me to do this. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. And when I hear stuff like that, that just like, okay, yeah, I got a Grammy, that's cool. But those comments, I couldn't ask for anything else. Like, that just keeps me going.